Sit-In will be published on the 50th anniversary of the Greensboro, North Carolina sit-ins, and the timing of this was very important to us. We kind of think of this book as a 50th anniversary celebration, as a thank you to those 4 brave students, to all the students that followed them. So the book Sit-In is set at a very important moment in civil rights history in America. In 1954, there was the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education. Rosa Parks, 1955-1956, started the Montgomery bus boycotts. After the sit-ins in 1961, Freedom Riders rode buses throughout the South to test the segregation laws. And of course, in 1963, Martin Luther King gave his landmark "I Have a Dream" speech in front of 250,000 people at the March on Washington. So there were many things that led to that moment and quite a few things that followed. Sit-In, How 4 Friends Stood Up by Sitting Down, is a true story. It's the story of 4 African-American college students who, on February 1st, 1960, went into a Woolworth's lunch counter and sat down. All they wanted was lunch. They were hungry. And it was a time of segregation, so they were refused. They were denied service. And they sat. They had a peaceful protest. They were practicing Dr. Martin Luther King's concept of nonviolence, which meant that they were resolving the conflict peacefully. And if you can imagine how hard that must have been, all because they wanted to be treated fairly. We interviewed and spent time with and got commentary from so many people that took part in sit-ins, that marched in 1960.
The sit-ins were very well documented, so there's lots of photographic reference that I used to inspire me to get a likeness of the 4 boys and to get the costumes correct and what a lunch counter actually looked like.
I love research because you turn up the most fascinating things. One of the facts that we did find out is that when those boys sat down, they did indeed order a donut and coffee, and that's the refrain. You know, that kind of became the poetic narrative that drives the book.
One of the reasons why we have a lot of food imagery in the book is because it's colorful. And it also shows how hard it must have been for those boys to sit there while all this food was around them and knowing that they were not being served. The art style is different from my past books because I did it in watercolor. The colors are very bright. I also wanted the art to be very expressive. I was trying to illustrate the winds of change, which we'll see moving behind the characters, and it goes throughout the whole book. We chose to use a gatefold at the end of the book because it's the climax of the story. And a gatefold is a spread that folds open even broader, so you have a huge spread. And in this case, I was able to really show the meandering lunch counter and how it became a roller coaster, and also illustrates the whole timeline of the sit-in movement. I have many heroes in my life: Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and especially my parents, Jerry Pinkney and Gloria Pinkney, because they shown me a way to live my life that I can make positive changes in the world.
My own personal heroes are my mom and dad, who, like those boys in Greensboro, sat and marched and protested peacefully. And it was because of those good intentions, bigger than themselves, that in 2010, I'm able to go to any lunch counter I want and order a donut and coffee. There are a lot of picture books about civil rights, African-American history. What's so intriguing about the Greensboro sit-ins is that they were fueled by students. It was young people who got these sit-ins going and propelled it forward, all because they wanted a bright future. And it reminds young people that no matter how old you are, you can make a change in the world. On February 1st, 1960, 4 hungry friends took a seat at the Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina. They didn't need menus. Their order was simple: a donut and coffee with cream on the side. They sat patiently while everyone else was served. The waitress watched and refused them. The policy was whites only. But the boys refused to leave. They sat straight and proud with their hearts full of hope. with Dr. King's words strong and close, be loving enough to absorb evil. When word got out about the Greensboro sit-ins, countless others of all races soon joined the cause, following Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s powerful words of peaceful protest. We must meet violence with nonviolence. By sitting down together, they stood up for civil rights and created the perfect recipe for integration, not only at the Woolworth's counter, but on buses and in communities throughout the South. And on July 2, 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson passed a law to ban segregation in public places. The hard work of all those brave students paid off. Their order was simple: a double dose of peace with nonviolence on top, hold the hate, leave off the injustice. And oh, integration sure tasted good.